Like it's your boy Ink, a small content creator channel. A shout out. It is the Aider Slasher podcast. Now it's the I wrote it down. It's the 80's Slasher Network. It was this podcast before. As I said, I grew up afraid of I grew up very afraid of a horror movie, very afraid. And the first one I saw that actually made me laugh and made me feel good about the horror movie was Chucky. And Chucky is one of the 80's, it's one of the 80's slashers. So of course I became obsessed with Chucky because it was my door in to the world of horror movie. And you can easily find the movie on YouTube. Back then, the copyright law were very lenient. They would let you watch a lot of movies. Now, if you want to watch a movie on YouTube, it's a fucking nightmare, right? So I found the Chucky movie and I watched them for 2, 3, 4 years. Then I wanted more, but I didn't want more with the original. I wanted more with that era of 80s slasher that is basically funny and basically gory. So I wanted to look at things like Freddy, things like Jason, things like Hellraiser, right? I couldn't find them. Michael Myers, I couldn't find it. So I gave up. And I started watching movie of today's. And although the movie that I watched from today's are good, which was Saw, it wasn't the same feeling. It didn't have a character that was built up. Because if you look at those movies, the 80s slasher, they all have something in common. We're building a character. May it be Chucky, may it be Freddy, may it be Jason. You're building a character. You're building a legacy. Right. And then I was looking for podcasts. I was looking for books, audiobooks on YouTube, and I found Chucky, Child Plays. Now, to be fair, back in the days, I had access to the movie. Why would I give a shit about the audiobook? But then I found a place where I could listen, so I listened. Then I found that this guy made a audiobook for The Shining, which is another horror movie. I was like, okay, that's legit. Then I realized that this guy had a whole library of 80 slashers. And why is it so important? Because, honestly, if you don't give a shit about 80 slasher, why would you listen to this guy? But this guy is trying to keep a form of media alive. There's a passion. It's a passion project. You can tell that he has really this big passion and he cares about it. And honestly, when I do shows like The Office, when I do shows like The Good Place, when I do shows like Cowboy Bebop yesterday, a show that nobody gives a shit anymore. But if I don't talk about it, those medias are gonna die out. So what if it's a channel that is completely up for making sure that those media don't die, and not be forgotten. And at the end of the day, not being forgotten is the same as not dying. Because either you die and you're forgotten, you live as a legend. It's why this guy, I want you guys to check him out. 80's Slasher Podcast. Again, if you give a shit about a horror movie, it's a fucking fantastic channel. If you don't give a shit about horror movie, just understand that there's some people that are still trying to keep media alive and that deserves support. As always, thank you for your support. I do love you. I hope you're good and good night because I'm going to sleep. Bye-bye.